Hi, so my computer accessibility project today will be on adapting the computer for the legally blind. So there's a couple ways you can go about this, depending on your computer or laptop, PC, and it's all based on preference. So I'm going to first start with the accessibility options that you have on your MacBook. I'm going to first share my screen. So first, what you want to do is open your system preferences, and then you're going to click on accessibility right over here. And as you can see, there are a lot of different options that you can use for different accessibility features. We're going to start with VoiceOver. When I enable it, it's going to give you a message on what it does, but basically it just reads out loud whatever's on your screen, like any text or like what box you're on, stuff like that. So I'm going to turn it on and it'll talk to us.
Welcome to VoiceOver. VoiceOver speaks descriptions of items on the screen and can be used to control the computer using only your keyboard. If you already know how to use VoiceOver, press the V key now. If you want to learn how to use VoiceOver, press the space bar now.
So basically, for this, you can, there's like a learning slide thing. So I'm going to press the space bar so we can just take a good look at it.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the VoiceOver Quick Start. To resume where you left off, press the right arrow key. To start at the beginning, press the left arrow key.
So the entire like teaching process of how to use this program is all spoken by the computer, and you don't actually have to read. All you have to do is listen, which I think is very neat. But you may need to have some help opening it and getting it started a little bit. So we're going to quit this.
VoiceOver on System Preferences, Accessibility window, Accessibility Features table, VoiceOver, selected as keyboard focus. You are currently on a table. To enter this table, press Control, Option, Shift, down arrow.
So as you can see, whenever you like change tabs or move around the computer, it will speak to you and tell you what you're doing and what you're on. And then it also tells you like what buttons and what keys to press to move around or do anything. I'm going to turn it off for now because it's just going to talk over me.
VoiceOver off.
And there's VoiceOver utility, and you can change a bunch of the settings. You can change who talks, if it gives you hints like on what keys to press, verbosity, which is like how many words they use to describe something. It's very versatile, so it all depends on your preference. So the second thing that we're going to take a look at is spoken content. It tells you who talks like when you're using this accessibility feature, and I would say that you turn on speak announcements, selection, items under the pointer, and typing feedback. So announcements are just notifications that you may get on your computer while you're doing anything. Selection, if you like click on it, it'll read it out to you. Speak items under the pointer. So for this one, I would click options, and then so the default setting says only when zoomed, but I feel like when you're legally blind and you're trying to navigate your way around the screen, you'd want it to always speak what's under the pointer. So as you can see, it just said low, which is what the pointer's under right now. There's little to no delay, but you can change that if you'd like. So like if I press
always,
like if I just move my pointer around, it'll read to me what is on. So there's that. I'm going to turn it off.
Only when.
Back to only when zoomed because it's just going to speak over me again. And then speak typing feedback. I think this is really important and interesting actually, because sometimes when you're typing too fast, like you don't really know what you're typing. So I think it's important that it reads back to you what you're writing. So as you're typing it, it also says what you're typing. So then there's also descriptions. So whenever there's an audio description, like on a website or like something like that, like on the AOTA website, like we saw last week, it'll play it automatically whenever it's available. So I would turn this on as well. So another thing that I would use is voice control. So voice control is like basically like diction or whatever when you use like um, on your phone or like when you're trying to text somebody using just your voice. So you would enable it, and then it uses your voice to do whatever you ask it to. So right now, as you can see, like right here, this little button says this little microphone, and then it says sleep. So there are a few commands that you can use, which you can see on under commands here. And there are some things like, for example, you
And
could
there are
say,
some things like, for example, eat.
so as you can see, it just listened to me and then typed it in the search box. So oftentimes when you're in a search box or something and you say something, it'll type the words in there for you. And I also, you can put it to sleep with your voice or by clicking on it. And you can also say, wake up, and it'll turn on. So we're gonna turn it on, and then I'm just gonna like use one example of what you could do. Um, Open Google Chrome. Okay, so it did open Chrome, but I have a tab open, so you can try another one. Open Calendar. There you go. So what I think is interesting is that you can play a sound when the command is recognized, which I think is super helpful. Because if you can't see an application opening or not, you won't know if it's open. So if you play a sound when the command is recognized, then it'll be very helpful to know when it's open, when it's not. It also gives you hints above here that you can see. Unfortunately, it doesn't say it out loud, even with the voiceover. I tried it, but it just tells you like what you could say instead of what you have said to get the outcome that you want. Um, so yeah, those are the like important things that I think were good in the accessibility features of the laptop, like the MacBook or whatever from Apple. I'm just gonna turn it off now so I don't accidentally open anything or whatever with the voice. So these are just the accessibility features that you could use on your MacBook. But I think there are some other ones that I'd like to show, such as, so this is, I used the University of Illinois website that had a couple suggestions here on what reading assistance technologies could be used. So there's something called refreshable braille displays. They're actually quite pricey. Um, they basically refresh like what's on a computer screen on a braille display, and you can just like touch it and feel the braille. Um, but they range from $3,500 to $15,000 depending on how many characters you want displayed. And there's some like different options that have like a calculator that help you with note taking and like how you connect it to your laptop. And some of them are compatible with both like PC and Mac, so like Windows and stuff like that. But some are just compatible with Windows. And then there's another one called JAWS Inspect, which is like an accessibility screen reader. So it does compatibility testing, and it tests how compatible you are with the certain settings and stuff like that. I was unable to download the demo version because it does only work with a Windows computer. However, it is also not free. It is a little bit pricey as well. Um, yeah, but there are a number of things that you could use it to do, and there's like a 1 minute video of like how it does what it does and all of that. So then there's also Kurzweil 3000. It's under Kurzweil Education, and basically this isn't just for accessibility. It's also for like education, like students from K through 12 or any like student in general. And it helps with literacy, so it like will help you make study guides and stuff like that. But also it's important to note that it does do text to speech, and it does allow like diction. So it's not only good for like people that need it for accessibility, but also for just students in general. So it has system requirements that you could do on Windows, Mac, and the web browser, but it just changes. So it does text to speech in over 18 languages and dialects. It reads it out for you. Yeah, you can do a bunch of different things with this as well. It's very accessible to anybody, and it's all based on preference. You can probably change a bunch of settings. I also couldn't download this one because I don't think I have like enough storage or like the proper like system requirements that this needed. But I think all of these options are really interesting and worth a try. So yeah, thank you.